One of the coolest experiences I had recently was I was driving down the road and some guy was trying to tell me that my brake light was out. And I started to go, man, why is he sitting there honking his horn? I started to get upset, but I almost missed it. Because when I actually saw him lipping the words and I really focused, I heard him say, "You're putting the brakes on your life." I don't know why, because the lips actually said that to me. And I immediately took that opportunity. I said, okay, instead of me getting angry right now, where is it I'm putting the brakes on in my life? And what I saw was that I was still thinking about all of our stuff as a businessman. Okay? Everything was about business. There wasn't the spiritual in some of my stuff. And so I need the business training that I have, but I also need the combination of the spiritual. Okay? So if I'm sitting here looking at all the facts that I need to do this, we need to have these projections, we need to have the metrics, we need to have this, we need to have that, because I need that to make a decision, then I've totally eradicated the other side. In other words, the logical mind has dominated the other side and it said, I don't want to listen to you. And no wonder why we think none of us are being listened to in this world, because we're not listening to ourselves. And so if I could sit there and I could stop just for a second and hear that side of myself and love it enough to say, come on, tell me. I want to hear it. And it says to me, you know what? Just relax and let it go and let everybody do what they're good at. So what we did 2 months ago or 3 months ago, we started in meetings for festivals that we wanted to do. And we were all doing our business plans and we were all creating 501c3s and incorporating and everything else like that. And I'm starting to think, okay, working a 40-hour-a-week job, I've got clients that I coach, and I got all this other kind of stuff, and yeah, I'm really down with this. I really want to do it. It's part of me and Karen's vision. I'm really wanting to do it. And I'm like, but how are we going to fit this into all of this? But as soon as I started trying to figure it out, as soon as the energy started blocking me, and all of us. But then I said, well, wait a second, we're approaching this wrong. Why don't we approach this based on what we have now, what we're capable of doing right in this moment? And what we're capable of doing right in this moment is doing films to empower people out there. Because as we're doing that for ourselves and we're doing what we have in this moment, we're empowering ourselves. Because as we do things that we can do now, we're going to make ourselves feel successful inside instead of looking at this massive vision that we can't do right at this moment because we're just in camp mode. But if you say you can, and you can do whatever you can do right now, then you've just started building yourself up. And what your mind and your body is, and your mind, body, and spirit is it is a vast mechanism to experience. So when I look at it, and we have people that are learning about permaculture here in the room. We have graphic designers in this room. We have people that understand just the basic human needs of just talking and connecting with people and making them laugh. We have people that understand how to connect with people just by touching them and loving them and giving them hugs. And so what do we got? We've got our community right now. We just have to believe in ourselves enough to do it. And the only way to do that is to look straight in your fear and face the moment. And empower yourself in the moment. And guess what happens? We become enlightened. What is enlightenment? It's the end of pain and suffering, because in light being the key word there, light is awareness. And awareness is just looking at what you have in this moment and not suffering. And so therefore we raise our energy, we raise our vibrations, and we do a lot of other things. And what we get is we get really caught up, because I'm really big into the quantum physics and the mind and all that kind of stuff. And that's fantastic. But I can be watching that and looking at it and say, that's really cool. That's really cool. I wish I could do that one day. I wish I could do that one day. And then one day is always a one day. It's always a waiting. Because if you do what you can do now, it's going to be amazing. An inspiration in this room for me is about a month ago, Anna Gavin. She told me about some experience that she had, and where something didn't work out the way she needed to, and she can do the story a lot better than I can. But what she said is that she just went out and she started doing what she could right now. She started playing her music. Started doing it every day. Every opportunity she had, she did it. And I think her mother gave her the push. And And basically because that was her passion. Well, if you're inspired by passion through the heart, what's going to happen to the world? The whole world's going to become passionate for you. And every experience is going to be different for you. And you're just going to, everything's just to become magical. Why? Because you're inspired by passion. You're not waiting, you're not looking for what's going to happen tomorrow. You're only looking about what you got to do today. So what happened to me 2 years ago is I said, God, it'd be really cool if I could just get paid to meditate. That'd be awesome. So what did God give me? He gave me a job that pays me a salary that I sit and meditate all day long. It's a call center job. I teach salespeople how to sell. I take maybe 1 to 2 calls an hour. What do I do the rest of the time? I study spiritual material online. I meditate. I do a lot of other things. So people would say, well, you got a job. I'm like, I got a job that pays me to meditate. Hello. I'm like, and they're like, well, I never really thought about it that way. I said, because your expectations say, I don't want to work for the man. Well, the only person I'm working for is me and my connection to a higher being, a higher energy. That's it. And so what I'm talking about here is just confidence in yourself. Because whether you're Christian or metaphysical or religious science or pagan or whatever, or Buddhist, it doesn't matter, because your confidence in yourself is confidence in your creator, however way you look at that. Whether you say you're the creator and you're a part of a greater whole, or whether you say that there's a creator beyond you, that doesn't matter, because we know if you have confidence in yourself, you're creating your world. We don't even have to go into spiritual texts. We can prove it with science. But if you are creating a space of disparity, you're creating disparity. Well, people will look at that and they'll say, well, wait a second. I don't know what to do. And I'm just stuck. And they get really mad because they think that you're judging them. Well, you're not judging them, they're judging themselves. And if they can look at that, they can change it, they can transfigure it in a second. Because what did Jesus say? He says, it's transfigured in a twinkling of an eye. He wasn't just talking about him going like this and miraculously hitting it. He was talking about all those doubts. As soon as you let go of it, you transfigure it in a twinkling of an eye. That's as fast as it happens, because he had enough confidence in himself. And he did the greatest sacrifice possible. And whether he was real or not, it doesn't matter. The symbolism of him standing there with his feet pointing down and his connection to a higher power, and out like this, with his heart way open, and forgive them for they don't know what to do, was an alchemical change in the body that said, I let go. I'm connected to the earth, I'm connected to the higher source, and I'm expanding through my heart, and my arms are in a wingspan, which is in Egyptian mythology, because there's Isis or Ma'at. I mean, we're sitting here, we're so busy arguing about who's right or wrong, we can't figure it out that we're all just experiencing, and if we'd let go enough, we'd really experience the world from a greater place, which would be from our heart. And all it is light. And you can even go into astrophysics to look at that. Because what does the galaxy do? It has a core of light. And a wingspan, if you really look at from the Hubble telescope of what the galaxy looks like, it has a wingspan and stars. Why? Because it's in a vibration just like us. What is light? A very, very fast vibration. What is darkness? It is a very dense vibration. So it's more of the absence of light, but it still is light.